because we can empower ourselves. So that's
We
where the
can.
goosebumps come from.
And I want to say that even the funding, a
Hmm.
lot of people when they see that you're building and you're doing stuff, so how did you get this? Who gave you a grant doing this? I was like, I started selling fish sandwiches for $5. Like that's really like nobody owned land or anything at first. We were
Hmm.
just making sure that it looked decent and beautiful because I didn't want to look at blight. I didn't want to look at hopelessness. I wanted to sit on my porch and I didn't want to just take care of the lot right next door. I'm like looking at this blight across the street, this blight right here. And that's what a lot of us do sometimes. We have our own grass looking all nice and neat and we have our own area, but the rest of the block and everything is being jacked up. And to me, that affects me too. Looking at the rest of it, you want to, and then just think about the children going back and forth. That they're passing that blight. Wouldn't they rather see grass that's so beautiful, just like further down Woodward in other communities? Flowers, eclectic shops, different things like that. And I always tell whenever I do talks and invited to do lectures and stuff, I always say that it never begins with the money. It just never begins with the money. It begins with the beautiful thing that you want to do. And if you have passion about it and you really, really serious about it, then the rest is going to come. It always does. As long as you keep on that, stay focused through all of the challenges, and it is sacrifices. It truly is. Stay focused on that thing that you feel that's important. And it's just going to materialize. And then what happens is that the more you sacrifice and the more you stay focused, then it unfolds more and more for you. So I never know. I don't know exactly how it's going to unfold. It's just kind of an organic thing, and I go by intuition and I go by timing. So if it feels a certain way, then I'm like, okay, then. And I don't tug or force. So the homework house took 5 years to get finished. You know, and just for an example of something taking a while, so maybe not funding all the time, but every chunk of funding that I had, every volunteer that helped to get it done, then that's how I actually did it. So that was just more time. But I appreciate the time that it is actually taken because the foundation is stronger. You learn so many different things. You learn these things that you're going to need for when it just pops off even more and more.
Hmm.
You're just growing. So I do appreciate that, and it gives you a chance to bond with the communities and be some space that is there that they can actually rely on for services and children's programming and everything. So after cleaning it up, and we did the Kickstarter in 2016 after the decision. We started, campaigning and getting on like, hey, building a village. This is what we're going to do. And we went to Kickstarter,
Hmm.
the Kickstarter campaign. And so my team, they wanted to do like $50,000. And I said, $50,000? I said, that ain't even going to get us a roof. You know, I mean, I'm like,
Yeah.
I said, we got to go bigger.
Hmm.
And I re hearing Jacoby
Mm.
over my shoulder. And he was like, go big, big. He said it 3 times. And so we thought of a number. It was 241,900.
Mm.
That's what $241,900.
$900.
That's what the number was. So with Kickstarter, you had to raise that in 30 days or you would get none. It's not
Hmm.
like GoFundMe. You got
Hmm.
to make sure that you hit that number that you say that you're going to hit.
Yeah.
And so we hustled and we campaigned and everything, and then one of the partners, his name is Justin. We needed a little kick because you know how you just kind of lagging behind or whatever a little bit as far as the campaign. And Robin Swartz, she's my PR consultant, and she did Fox 2 for like 17 years.
Hmm.
And so she was just starting off in her own business as PR, being her own PR business. And they say, hey, we may need your help to help get this along and everything, and and some of your expertise. And then she called Charlie LaDuff, and when she called Charlie LaDuff, he came and he did the first interview of our work that we were doing over there. And after Charlie LaDuff, it was on and popping after that, as far as us being able to share what we were doing, showing people how you can actually transform your own blighted area. These are some of the steps that you can take. And so people watched and saw how we did it, you know. And then I started purchasing the land, you know, little by little, you know, land bank. And so it was people moving out off the block, as a matter of fact. And some of the houses were beginning to get tore down. You know, the city had already slated certain houses to be. So it was fortunate that a few came off of on Avalon Street, and so that just helped to clean it even more and get it, you know, less blight and everything. And so after that, it was just a matter of just and so and this is what I did too to help my vision. I had one of the civil engineer volunteers. He was I told him, I said, take a picture of the whole block from the aerial view of it. And then I went to Office Depot and got some yellow stickers. And what I did was is that I put the yellow stickers where all of the blight was and all of the empty vacant lots. And I said that, and I named what it is I wanted to be in those spaces. And so those are like my own ghetto blueprints, you know. It just looks so lame right now, but it's still cute, and I still have it in a folder.
love it.
And
I
actually, I'm
love
going to
it.
frame it.
I was gonna
too,
say
because
that's classic.
that was my original blueprint and my original plans, and that was the way that I could actually do it. So now we've grown to 45 properties. We own 98% of the block between Woodward and 2nd Avenue. All of the blank spaces are practically ours. We have 5 structures, and there's 6 residents that stay on the block right now. And so we were on the Ellen Show. We had a house that was donated. We could have used it for retail, or I could have lived in the house. But I'm like, okay, we build in the village. We need a village hall. So that's our actual village hall, that building that you see. And it's really different looking from all the structures. And that's what I like about the village, too. It's like, it's all kinds of stuff. Okay, we got a shipping container, this building for a store, you know, the Goddess Marketplace, and it's inside of a shipping container. And everything in the village is built with a green infrastructure in mind, and weaning us off of, like right now, gas. And I'm just saying, you know, things like that, because first of all, we wanted to build smart and build affordable. And for us, like the Homework House, it has geothermal heating and cooling. So it's not ran by gas. We have a solar roof, and about 3 of our structures have solar roofs on them right now. We have 5 solar streetlights with Wi-Fi capabilities that we just got installed with Solidarity, and through a campaign that it was called We Lit Avalon. And so it was like, okay, Solidarity, we're going to, you know, we did this whole thing. And so we were funded half of the money. It was like, we got to raise $75,000, right? And so we raised half of the money, and it was matched. We would get the match. And so then we got another donation in order to put lights in Parker Village. So we were able to spread the light that way in Highland Park. And thus far, they've done 17 solar streetlights. But we were the very first relit block in Highland Park when the lights got repossessed in 2011.
Yeah.
And 10 years later, we relit the whole block.
Yeah.
So now we're hoping that right there spreads. And that was the mission of the village too, is to show people what people think. Sometimes things are just so impossible. Oh my God, I'd just rather move. This is too much work and everything. But if you get over there and just like an elephant, you just take a little bit at a time, a little chunk at a time. That's how I look at building the village. Like, okay, this little bit here, until it all gets done. And I'm in no rush.